Hi, and welcome to Yozzo's podcast, dedicated to empowering mobile virtual network operators with the insights they need to succeed. This is the place where we break down the complexities of the MVNO ecosystem. Let's get started.
Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most critical, yet almost totally unknown players in the mobile world, the MVNE.
Here's a question you've probably never thought to ask, but once you hear it, it kind of gets in your head. If you think about who actually owns the cell towers, the antennas, all that physical stuff, it's only a few giant companies, right? So how is it possible that there are hundreds, maybe even thousands, of different mobile brands all competing for our business? Where do they all come from?
To figure this out, we first need to lay out all the pieces of the puzzle, because the world of mobile carriers is a little more complicated than it looks on the surface.
So on one side, you have the MNOs, the mobile network operators. These are the titans, the big guys who build and own the actual infrastructure. Then you've got the MVNOs, mobile virtual network operators. These are all the brands we actually know, the ones who lease access to those networks to sell service to us. But there's this huge gap between having a cool brand and actually getting your customers connected to that network.
And that gap? Well, it's protected by some seriously high walls. Trying to start a mobile brand isn't like opening a new online store. The barriers to get into this game are just immense.
What this really means is, even if you've got a killer brand and a ton of loyal followers, you still run smack into three massive hurdles. First, you need a crazy amount of money up front for all the IT and systems. Second, you need incredibly specialized telecom knowledge, which most companies just don't have. And third, the day-to-day complexity of running it all, from billing to SIM cards, is just mind-boggling. It's enough to make almost anyone give up before they even start.
But here's the thing. It's a two-sided problem. It's not just the new guys struggling to get in. The big MNOs have their own headaches. For them, setting up every single new brand is this huge administrative nightmare. It's a massive drain on their time and resources, especially for a partner that might start out small. Both sides really needed a better way to do this.
And that better way? It has a name. This is that aha moment where the hidden engine finally steps into the light. It's called the Mobile Virtual Network Enabler, or the MVNE.
So what on earth is an MVNE? It's the ultimate middleman, really. It's a company that specializes in building a bridge over those great walls of telecom. It creates a turnkey platform with all the complex tech and business stuff an MVNO needs, and then plugs that platform straight into the big MNO's network. And get this, they don't have any customers of their own, so they aren't regulated like a normal telecom. They just enable others.
To make this crystal clear, think of it like this. An MVNE is the general contractor for building a mobile company. If you're the brand, you don't have to go out and hire the telecom equivalent of electricians and plumbers and architects. The MVNE has all those experts under one roof, and they just hand you the keys to a finished house.
And this quote from Alan Rasmussen's research really just nails it. The MVNE handles all the incredibly complicated back-end stuff. This frees up the brand, the MVNO, to focus only on what it's truly good at. Marketing, building a community, and actually taking care of its customers.
So let's just quickly break down the impact here. When you partner with an MVNE, bam, your startup costs are slashed. Bam, you can launch in a fraction of the time. You instantly get a whole team of telecom experts. And, like we just said, you get to focus on your customers. Those barriers to entry, they just kind of crumble.
Now, this all sounds great on paper, but does it actually work in the real world? Oh yeah, the MVNO model isn't just a theory, it's been a massive, measurable success story for the network operators who were smart enough to embrace it. Let's take a look at E+ in Germany. Back in the early 2000s, they were in a tough spot. Their growth was slowing down, and more importantly, their profits were shrinking. They needed to do something radical.
To put a number on it, their profit margin, what's called the EBITDA margin, had dropped all the way to 24%. And for a major network operator, that is a really scary trend.
So what did they do? They made a huge shift. They launched their own MVNO platform to make it super easy for new partners to join their network. And the result? Their margin didn't just bounce back, it skyrocketed to 42%. They completely transformed their business by making it easier for others to succeed.
Okay, let's jump to another example. Tele2 in Russia decided to go all in on this. They created something they actually called an MVNO factory. The whole goal was to become the #1 go-to platform for any brand that wanted to launch a mobile service in the country. And the result of that factory?
At one point, their revenue from this MVNO business grew by an unbelievable 133% year over year. They basically built a machine that just printed new revenue on top of the network they already had, all thanks to this MVNE model.
Okay, our last case study takes us down to Brazil, where an MVNE called Surf Telecom did more than just help one network operator. They basically shaped the entire national market.
The impact here is just wild. Look at this. In early 2021, Brazil had 82 licensed MVNOs. Out of all of them, nearly half, 36 to be exact, were all running on Surf Telecom's single platform. Think about that. One company became the hub that allowed everyone from the Brazilian post office to major soccer teams to launch their own mobile brands.
So, we've seen what an MVNE is, how it works, and we've looked at the proof. But let's bring it all back home. Why should you or I care about this invisible technical layer of the mobile world?
Well, because MVNOs are fundamentally engines for competition and innovation. By tearing down those huge walls, they let way more players get into the game. And that means more variety, more niche services for specific communities, and way more pressure on the big guys to give us all a better deal.
So when you zoom all the way out, the takeaway is pretty clear. The MVNO model directly leads to more brands, which for us means way more choice. It fuels faster innovation across the whole industry. And maybe, most importantly, it gives entrepreneurs with a great idea a real shot at competing in one of the biggest markets in the world.
And that wraps up another episode of Yozzo's podcast. If you want to dive deeper into today's topic, you can find much more resources at yozzo.com. We'll be back next time with more insights. Until then, keep innovating.